Welcome to another episode of Lunch with the Shark. Join us as we dive deep into discussions about business, accounting, and finance to help you build a business that thrives. Now sit back and have a bite with your host, the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa.
Well, hello, good afternoon, welcome to a new edition of Lunch with the Shark. I am your host, Vidal, the Shark CFO Espinosa, and I am super happy to be this Wednesday afternoon with you guys. How's your week been going? Ours has been, if I can only tell you, I'm pretty sure it's better for me not to tell you, because I would probably start dropping names and naming people and cursing at them and just throwing a huge, don't laugh, Jeff, throwing a huge, I don't know, this close on walking somewhere and knocking on somebody's door and punching them in the face. But it is what it is, right? Don't laugh, Jeffrey. Everybody here is laughing, but really, I don't care. So I hope your week is going great. Nevertheless, regardless of that little incident that was ending up homeless, literally homeless, everything's fine. Everything's great. I think that one day we're going to look back at this couple of months, and in particular this week, and we're gonna laugh. I think so. I hope so. And on another note, today would be my parents' wedding anniversary. Today they would be celebrating 48 years of marriage. I congratulated my mom. My dad's no longer with us, but she's still married to him. So that's great. So how things are going? How did you enjoy yesterday's episode regarding independent contractors and the liability that you can incur by not doing it right? And let's start today's episode first and foremost congratulating every single veteran on today's Veterans Day here in the U.S. Thank you for your service. Thank you for keeping the United States of North America safe, for providing us our freedom. We really don't know how lucky and how good we have it here in the U.S. of A compared to other countries. It's with all its ups and downs, it's completely different than any other country. I'm keeping out some of the countries in Europe because the problem there's a lot of differences, but we are really lucky and extremely grateful for your services, for keeping us safe, for providing our freedom. Thank you so much for your service. And today's Lunch with the Shark, it's going to be a little bit unique. And I think we're going to implement this on a basis and for each of our topics. And the thing that we're going to do is it's an experiment, and we'll see how it works, because we've noticed that independent contractors topic, it's very complex issue that most of you have been asking a lot of questions. Most of you have concerns. Most of you have no idea how to do it. And that's great. You're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to hire or get an advisor that actually knows how to do it. It's very, I don't know how to drill it into everybody's head that you should specialize in your own business. You should not become a specialized on each and every single area of your business. You must know about each and every single area of your business. Basics. but not very in detail, not micromanaging, not like that, right? And I have two examples or two comments to make in regards to this. My mom, a couple of weeks ago, she had hip replacement surgery, right? Based on what I've seen of her and all that, it's a very painful surgery, right? I thought that it wasn't, but it is. And today I gave her an analogy. I said, Mom, for the last 2 weeks, you've been in extreme pain, but it's the beginning of the end of your pain. They accumulated the pain that you could have had for the rest of your life in 2 weeks. If you see it that way, it's amazing. Yes, it's really painful, but it's amazing. She asked the doctor on her latest appointment, which was Monday, hey, doctor, can I go on an airplane? She's planning on traveling. And the doctor said, well, my recommendation is this and this and this. It's up to you. First question. First comment. Second comment. Somebody, a client of ours, hired or wants to hire, and actually they hired employees in different states of the country. They email me and they ask, hey, do we have to pay payroll taxes in California because we hire 2 employees out of state, in this state and in this state? I said, well, the rule of thumb is, where do they pay state taxes and or where do they reside? Oh no, they reside in this state and that state. Therefore, they don't pay payroll taxes in the state of California. And I said, we have to register the company in those 2 states. I said, it takes time. We must plan accordingly. We must wait until we get the licenses and permits for those states. I get an email today, same question, different format, seeking for me to advise them on what to do. I reply, do this based on this, plan accordingly, and I put it on them. That's exactly what you need to do with independent contractors. Put it on them. They are independent. The name says it all. Independent contractors. Stop trying to control your independent contractors. If you want to have control over them, they are becoming, or they need to become, your employees. That is right. That's the rule of thumb. How much control do you want to have over your independent contractors? Because I want to avoid payroll taxes and workers' comp. So what we're going to do is we're going to share real questions from real clients about independent contractors and actually give you the answers. Remember, everything on independent contractors, on employees, on employment, it's case by case basis. Not every scenario, it's identical. Even if it looks to the human eye identical, it's not. Everything has very different things. Maybe there's an I here, there's an E here instead. So beware. This will really help you understand, and just understand, okay, what questions you will face as a business owner and some of the advice you will get from us as a client, right? Let's get right into it. So, first question, and it's a true one that happened a month ago. We are planning a team retreat. Is it okay that the company purchases flights, meals, and Airbnb for team members, or must those be purchased by contractors and we reimbursed? What do you guys think would be the best course of action when it comes to this? What do you guys think? The answer, or the proper answer, is independent contractors should pay for their own business expenses. In this case, the team, it's an independent contracting team. They're not employees, okay? So they would have to discuss this additional expense to their client. Remember, whomever you're providing the service to, it's your client, not your boss. And whomever you're seeking services from, they're your vendor, not your employee. Therefore, you must treat them accordingly. Okay? That's how you need to differentiate the service within the independent contractor. So in this case, the independent contractor should approach their client and say, hey, this expense, it's out of the scope of the business from which we have been hired to do so. The airfare, these incidentals, this and this and this and this and that will be this much. I'll send you an invoice. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You, company that wants to hire independent contractors, you need to shift your mindset. You're hiring independent contractors because you don't want employees, but you don't want employees because you don't want to carry the liability of having payroll taxes, preparing payroll tax returns, having workers' comp, and so forth. That's it. But you need to shift your mindset that even if you're hiring independent contractors, they're not your employees. They're a service provider to your company. A service provider to your company. Plain and simple. That's a very simple analogy or a simple way to change your mindset when it comes to that. Another question that we just had from a client of us. I was wondering about adding contractors in our payroll system. Should we do that? What do you think? What do you think? Let me add independent contractors into my payroll system. Okay. So how much control are you going to have over them? Are they an employee or an independent contractor? First of all, if you want to add them to your payroll system, where are you adding it? To your payroll. Do independent contractors receive a payroll? No. They receive a payment after they provide me with an invoice for the services rendered from this period to this period. So the answer would be there. No, you cannot add them to your payroll system and pay them on the payroll period, because what are you telling to the tax authorities in case of a review? Oh, look, I have 10 employees and 2 independent contractors, and the 12 get paid the same day through the same system. So guess what? Those 2 independent contractors immediately are going to be reclassified by the tax authorities as employees. And guess what? You're going to be liable. And this is the most important thing, okay? You're going to be liable for the taxes based on the amount of the check that you provide them, okay? So that's the net amount. What the government is going to do is they're going to gross up that amount. You cannot go after that individual and seek reimbursement or have them return or refund you for those taxes. You are the only one liable for that amount. So let's say that you wrote a check for them for $1,000 every 15th and 30th, same as your payroll period. But they're independent contractors, right? So the government comes over here, the tax authorities, and they say, you know what? those $1,000 for the last year, for every 15th and 30th, they're employees. It's clearly that they're employees. Okay, so you gave them a check for $1,000. So therefore, their net, it's $1,300. So you owe me 300 times 2 times 12 plus penalties, plus interest, plus workers' comp. And that's just one tax authority. That tax authority, it's immediately going to notify the state or the federal authorities. And they're not going to audit you. They're just going to take the numbers from this tax authority as valid and send you a bill. Hey, knock, knock. By the way, you just audited by the IRS or by the state, so therefore you owe me this taxes. That's it. You want that? The thing is that we don't think clearly when something affects us. We don't think clearly when something goes against what we are believing, right? Like the example I gave you. Yesterday's email was, we are planning on hiring. Okay. Today's email is like, what can we do because they start Monday? You're not going to get a different answer if you frame the question differently. You're asking the same shit. You're getting the same shit back, right? If your advisor, it's truthful, ethical, and honest. I could have simply said, yeah, hire them and then we'll figure it out. No, if you want to hire them, right? If you are willing to gamble it and get a sanction, a penalty, a whatever, go ahead. At least I told you as it is, right? It's up to you. Mom, if you want to fly, it's up to you. I can't do anything. You can, but it's up to you, right? Another question. Some contractors are driving to a meeting next week, and they have asked about gas reimbursement. Can we do this? If so, how is this calculated? Please help. Do they attach fuel receipts to a reimbursement form? First of all, if you as an independent contractor, and I hope you don't do this, are calling your clients and saying, hey, you know what? I have to travel to your office. Are you going to reimburse me for those miles? I'm in a state of shock. That's a business-related expense. Your client asks you to meet. They ask you to go to their office. Why would you be reimbursed? That's my first train of thought. It was like, holy shit. You're asking your client to be reimbursed for mileage from your office to their office because they're seeking a meeting? It's like any of you clients out there calling me and say, hey, Vidal, do you know, I want a meeting. Do you mind coming to my office? Yeah, but are you going to reimburse me for my Uber or Lyft or my mileage? Mindset, people, mindset. Now, if it's out of state, that's completely different, right? If a client from Mexico, Guadalajara, Monterrey, whatever, called me and say, hey, you know what? We have a board meeting. Would you mind coming? Sure. That's an extra fee, blah, 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 blah. You discuss it, you agree, period, right? So on a reimbursement basis, either are you just considering your gas for your travel expenses? It's like, you just want to be reimbursed for your gas? There's actually a form or a figure that the IRS gives us every end of the year to determine the mileage, which includes depreciation of vehicle, insurance, tear and wear, so forth, so on. So whatever you do is you start your mileage from the your office, and you add all the miles to the office where your client is at, and you multiply that by that amount. and you send them a bill or an invoice for that. Just don't say gas reimbursement. Be a little bit more elegant. It would be a travel reimbursement, okay, or travel fee, or whatever it is. But be elegant, be professional, right? So yes, your client can reimburse you for those expenses, and that's it, plain and simple. But your client should not pay ahead of time or send you an allowance, right? Is it normal to pay contractors out in the same payroll period as our regular employees, or should it be different? I already said it. Independent contractors are considered vendors. They're not your employees, okay? Part of the accounting process or accounting system and accounting department must include internal controls and processes, right? And I'm going to give you an example about this. Your independent contractors are vendors, okay? Most vendors, if not all, they send you an invoice after they provided you the service, or they deliver the products or goods, or at the beginning of the month for the whole month. And the invoice says net due, due 10, due 15, whatever it is, the terms that they have negotiated with you or the terms that they have in place internal. Now, you as a company should make the determination and say, hey, we pay our vendors once or twice a month. Don't pay vendors every single freaking day of the year, because that fucks up your cash flow. You have no control over your cash flow if you're paying vendors on a daily basis. Minimum pay vendors at least once a week. Okay? So at the most, pay vendors twice a month. And the process would be the independent contractor sends you the invoice. You review the invoice based on their proposal or based on the service delivered or the engagement that you have with them. Then you program payment, right? But payments should not go out on a daily basis or whatever it is, right? And my recommendation is, most of the times, payroll, it's on a recurring basis, and they're constant. They're almost the same amount, unless there's a variation in hours or things like that, right? But I would recommend that you pay vendors on a different cycle than your payroll, okay? And mostly if they are independent contractors. That actually helps you segregate and identify that they're actually not dependent or relying on your payment to them as independent contractors, okay? Otherwise, it actually shows that you have control over them. And you are, everything falls on you. The burden of proof, it's on you, the hiring company, okay? So beware. Should we create a folder for each independent contractor, and what should we include in it? Should I have a NDA included? Yes, every independent contractor should have a folder and at least 3 basic documents, at least, okay? First, independent contractor agreement, non-disclosure agreement, and a W-9 or W-8. W-9 and or W-8 should be in their permanent folder prior to you disbursing any payment to any independent contractor. As simple as that. We actually have a policy that we address with our clients, and we say, if you're hiring independent contractors, the minimum you should have is the W-9 if they are a US-based company and or a US-based individual, or a W-8 BEN, B-E-N, if they are a foreign individual, or a W-8 B-E-N, I think it's an E, for companies. I'll tell you right now, because sometimes so many forms, and it actually gets me a little bit confused there. Give me 1 second. And I'm getting you from, oh, no, not them. And those two forms, you should have them in your files. It's imperative that you have them. They are going to avoid you tremendous issues. And yes, I was right. So it's W-9 if they are a local US based or US resident of the United States, or W-8 BEN if they are an individual, a foreign individual, okay? And or a W-8 BEN E if they are a foreign company, okay? A foreign company. And why we should have those forms? Because a W-9 at the end of the year, if you pay that company or that individual, you have to send them a 1099 miscellaneous. Okay, that's enough supporting documentation so you can claim the deduction of that expense. Second, W-8 BEN or W-BEN E, it's actually certifying that you are not supposed to withhold taxes from those individuals or companies based on a tax treaty or based on their tax strategy or structure for that individual or that company. What does, it eliminates the liability, your fiduciary liability of withholding taxes to that individual. Because guess what? Most of us have foreign independent contractors, freelancers, right? We have our company in India that is providing us marketing because they are amazing marketers for the US market, right? And or our back office in Pakistan, or our call center in India, or whatever, right? And you're sending payments to that foreign country. When you have an audit, knock on wood, they're going to ask you and say, hey, where are the tax withholdings and the tax payments for those companies, for those foreign payments? And you're going to be like, well, why would you do that? Or at least show me the W-8 BEN or the W-8 BEN E for each of them. And it's not per wire transfer, it's per company. Oh, I don't have them. Guess what? You were supposed to withhold 20% of those payments and report them to the IRS. What's going to happen? Oh, you send $100,000, therefore that's the net. We're going to gross it up, 20% you owe us, plus taxes, plus penalties and interest. So that savings, you just got screwed. So minimum, remember, minimum independent contractor agreement that has to come from them. Don't provide one that it's from you, from your attorney, because every independent contractor in your company is going to have the same agreement. Guess what? They're going to review every single folder or file, and they're going to be like, you provided them this agreement. They are your employees. You are having control immediately from the get-go. You can have the same non-disclosure agreement because you might be so special in this universe that you must have a mutual non-disclosure agreement. That's fine. W-8, W-9, any of those two forms should be on their folder. Okay? At what point do I need to report the income I pay to independent contractors? Plain and simple. Once a year, if you pay them more than 600 US dollars combined, accumulated from the January 1st to December 31st, okay? And you report them through a 1099 miscellaneous, okay? Simple as that. That's why you need to have the W9, W8 Ben, W8 Ben E, so you can prepare those forms, okay? They are supposed to be delivered to those independent contractors on or before January 31st, and you're supposed to inform the IRS, okay, through a 1098 red. Call us if you have a question. It's actually one of the few obligations that the IRS has. What do I do if I have independent contractors that work abroad? What do I do? I send them or ask them the same things. Send me a service agreement, which would act as independent contract agreement. Here's my mutual non-disclosure agreement because I have so much trademark information. I have so much intellectual property that we must be protected. And please provide me a W8 Ben or W8 Ben E before I can send you the first payment. Oh, but can you help me fill in the W8 Ben or W8 Ben E? Nope. Their accountants in their country should be able to help them fill it out. If I have an independent contractor sales team, is there a way that I can add additional protection to my business? Well, yes, there actually is a way to add protection to your business. Have that sales team provide you insurance. Have that sales team become an LLC. Hire the LLC. Or hire an external company to provide you the service, a bridge company. Give us a call. That is a great strategy. I receive a form from our insurance company who provides us with a production insurance, liability, and workers' comp. What they explained to me was they estimated the charges at the start of each year, and then at the end of the year, they calculate actual numbers. They definitely made it seem they were specially looking for 1099 payments for my independent contractors. That's 100% correct. Whomever has employees and they comply with workers' comp, every year at the anniversary or at the birthday of your workers' comp, you get a workers' comp audit. It's normal. Don't be afraid, okay? For those who are getting them for the very first time, or you're like, oh my God, they're auditing me. It's normal. They're just reviewing your total payroll for that period, right? What they want to do is they actually want to review your independent contractors because it's most likely, yes, than not, that you have misclassified independent contractors and they should be employees. So what the insurance company is trying to do is they're trying to first, to a point, help you out because they will have the same mindset and mentality as the tax authorities. And they'll be like, hey, by the way, this independent contractor, it's most likely an employee. We're going to have to add it into our premium, adjust it up. So you owe me this much in workers' comp for this period for this independent contractor. Okay, so that's what they do. So you are obligated to provide them copies of those 1099s and or records of those independent contractors. Okay, because some of the duties that some of the independent contractors perform for you would be considered under workers' comp. Are you still confused about independent contractors? I'm pretty sure you are. We have created independent contractor guidelines and internal control documents to help you understand how to help reduce the risk of misclassifications. Visit invictus-advisors.com/IC control to get a free copy of it. This is part of the service that we provide to our monthly clients. We actually provide added value. We just don't do financial statements. We actually help them be compliant based on what we know, and they don't. Because we ask them, focus on your company. Focus on increasing your revenue. Let us focus on those tedious tasks. Remember, fuck your numbers. You don't care about those numbers. You just care about achieving your goals and your bottom line, which is your profit. What I'm going to take because I want to retire, right? So give us a call. Our LinkedIn reposts episodes of Lunch with the Shark. So make sure you follow us to get all our content. So here is how you do it. Jesus, play the video. Or sorry, no. Jesus, take the wheel and play the video. All you need to do is type Invictus Advisors in the search bar on the top of the page. Click the blue follow button. It's right underneath our logo. As you can see, it is really easy to follow us on and keep up to date on all of our content in LinkedIn. Well, I hope you learned a couple of things. Give us a call if you have questions. We can help you navigate the independent contractor seas. It's complicated. It's very, very complicated, complex. You can get into a lot of troubles. Today's quote comes from Frank Perdue. He was the CEO of Perdue Farms, now one of the largest chicken producing companies in the United States of North America. And he said, if you believe in unlimited quality and act in all your business dealings with total integrity, the rest will take care of itself. Yes, true that. Well, it's been an interesting show. It's been heavy in information, but it's been great. Hope I provided you value, and see you tomorrow. Bon appetit. Ciao.
Thank you for listening to Lunch with the Shark. If you would like to set up a consultation with the Shark CFO, Vidal Espinosa, visit his website www.invictus-advisors.com, and don't forget to subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn.